I think it's just wearing out.
We needed a new one anyway.
So good morning, everyone. So we have a ton to cover today. There's been a couple of things happening. We are also really fortunate that we have Alderwoman Grant and we have Alderwoman Meeks with us today. I have two quick things that I really want to touch on, and then I have a whole laundry list of items I'd like to discuss with you. But two very quickly. One is we have the Mayor's Hunger Luncheon coming up. It is October 29th. I don't think I've ever come to you and said we have an event coming up and I'd love you to look at it. But I do have flyers. I will just tell you, there's a really wonderful committee that has come together over the last several years to bring back the Hunger Luncheon. All of the funding that is raised for the Hunger Luncheon goes to the 9 local pantries. It stays here. We have a goal this year to raise at least $60,000 for the Hunger Luncheon. We are well past halfway, but we still have a ways to go. It is October 29th at 11:30. If you can attend, we would love to see you. If you would be willing to donate $1 or $1,000, we would love it. Anything, it goes a really long way. As you are well aware, the need in our community is significant. And the buying power of our pantries provides a great opportunity to make your dollar extend and really have an impact on our own residents right here. So I just want to make you aware of that. Second, another fairly unique thing for when I come here, but one of the neatest things I get to do as mayor is go around and talk to various people, get to hear different stories of people who are what I would call the quiet heroes in our community who continually do wonderful work. I wanted to take a point of privilege today and highlight someone. So at the city, we have now, I think it was early 2018 that we started it. We started providing challenge coins to City of Rockford employees or to residents who we feel go above and beyond. And truthfully, I feel ashamed I was not aware of all the amazing work that this person has done in our community, but I think it's absolutely commendable and should be honored. There's someone here in the room today who saw an incredible need. If you go back several years now, probably a decade, our community had a really difficult discussion, but a needed discussion around providing public housing and new opportunities to people in our city. That discussion took place around the Grove, which was a new housing development taking place on the east side. Regardless of any one of your opinions, I do appreciate both sides of the thought, but we have residents living at the Grove trying to live their best life and succeed. And we have a resident here who saw that, probably saw some of the tensions that were occurring, but also saw all the children that would be moving into the Grove and wanted to have an impact. This resident immediately jumped into action. This resident was there at the opening of the Grove when families and children began to walk into the Grove. This resident has been a program coordinator of activities at the Grove for now years. The resident recognized that children at the Grove really had no place to go for after-school activities. This resident was instrumental in starting and leading a program in the kitchen area that offered opportunities for arts and crafts for preschool students, and as well as students in grades 1st through 5th, meeting with them once a week, providing a tremendous amount of their time to our children. Started a reading program as well, started a tutoring program as well, and truly the list goes on, and just gave incredibly selflessly of their own time across town to probably children they had never met. And I know that she is here with us today, and I was wondering if Donette Naylor would come forward so I could provide her a challenge and just say thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to the city and on the mayor for this honor. I'm just accepting this on behalf of a whole bunch of volunteers and people who have helped, who, when I wanted to give up because it was challenging, it's challenging to go into a new neighborhood where people's lives are very different from your own. But I want to say a couple of thank yous. And the first one I want to say thank you to is Grace United Methodist Church, which supports all the work that we do there. And in particular, Pastor Pam, who's the retired pastor, she's here today. She was the one that said, what are we going to do? She walked the grounds before they built the buildings. And she has been a real help to me. I also want to say thank you to my family because they listened to my stories about the Grove. And my husband, who, when I have mechanical things and all those things I can't do or lift, he comes along. So we have right now about 20 to 25 volunteers regularly, but some people, actually a couple that are in this room, have also been a part of the volunteer team. So it takes a village, it takes a lot of people to make this work. But I've come to love going to the Grove, and I love all of the kids, and now some of them are grown, and I see them as young adults. So it's been a privilege to be able to serve in this way. So thank you for recognizing me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So, honestly, one of the things that have stuck in my head as mayor is a study that was done by Harvard that said the number one thing that we can do for our children is have one adult that loves on them and cares on them. And the study didn't say it had to be a mom, didn't say it had to be a dad, it just said one adult. And you're that one adult. So for so many of you. So I just want to say thank you to you and all the volunteers who volunteer out at the Grove. So thank you. Like I said, I have a whole host of things, but we are also really fortunate today that we have Alderwoman Meeks and Alderwoman Granith. I want to just start and first say, as we always try to do, answer any questions that you have. Are there any really pressing questions that you want to ask right away? This is going to be a fun morning. Yes. Okay.
At the roundabout and Main and Auburn.
You've heard about that. Okay. All right, so. Okay, so question was, would like to hear my thoughts about the proposed car wash at North Main in Auburn at the roundabout. Also has petitions stating opposition. Opposition if anyone wanted to sign it. I will quickly answer my thoughts on it, but I also think it's best answered by the Alderwoman. I am opposed to it. Staff did oppose it. I will not speak for City Council. I have yet to find a council member that is in support of it. But you talk about two people who have been knee-deep in it and really leading the charge on it and doing great advocacy on behalf of their residents. It's Alderwoman Granith and Alderwoman Meeks, so I'll turn it over to them.
Good morning. So yes, I will be speaking in opposition to the proposal on Tuesday at the Zoning Board of Appeals, which is at 5:30 at City Council. So the more people we have in the room, the better. I'm also going to get in the weeds a little bit because we also want to make sure that we don't change the zoning for the rest of the property. So they want special use permits for the car wash. Those are pretty easy to say no to, right? And the staff did say no to those. But the staff did make a recommendation of changing the entire property to a C2. And that's what I am also in opposition to changing it back into a C2 for the entire property. And so you might remember there was a restaurant at the beginning up by the circle, table 13, I think. And then further back, there were houses and different things. So we would just like it to keep in that regard. We would like it to stay the way it is. If not, maybe change it to C1, which could then act as a buffer to the C2 that is closer to Auburn. Because it is in a neighborhood, it's a residential area, and we don't want a big box there, right? We want something that's appropriate to the neighborhood. So I am in opposition to it. I will let Alderwoman Meeks speak about it, but it is something that the more voices, and please sign the petition. The neighborhood has come together around this situation, so we are hopeful, as the mayor always knows, we never know until the votes actually happen. We are hopeful that we have enough votes that it is in opposition, so I'll let Alderman Meeks speak on it also.
Thank you so much. And I'm a little bit more confident that this is just gonna be a no. So that's pretty much how I see it. I'm with the mayor, I've never seen more opposition to anything ever before in my time on council. I've been here 4.5 years, and I've never seen anything more opposed than this car wash, and even the changing of the zoning, because what can come from that changing of the zoning is, potential commercial properties that I don't think we'd be happy with those either. And so I know it kind of it can get into the weeds a little bit of, well, what can we do and what will we do? Well, right now we can just focus in on not doing that thing. So that's kind of my thoughts with that one.
Thank you. And as I'm speaking, if you guys want to add anything or add answers to any questions, please do not hesitate. So probably not in the best order, but I'm going to try to hit a lot of different areas. And again, as always, if you have questions, just shout them out, yell at me, whatever you'd like. Yes. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tomorrow, millions of patriotic Americans are going to be, including me, are going to be protesting the actions of our federal government. There'll probably be about 5 million people and 3,000 sites. I am proud of Vietnam veteran. But I've also lived near Broadview, and I've also lived where the ice detention center is, and I've also lived near Joliet, where the federal penitentiary is, where our president has sent the Texas National Guard.
Microphone, please.
Okay, in case you hadn't heard that. There are going to be protests tomorrow, and I will be there. I have been to all of them. I will be there. These are loyal Americans at 3,000 sites protesting what's going on. I am a proud Vietnam veteran, and I've also lived near Broadview, where the ICE detention center is, and I've lived near Joliet, where the president has sent the Texas National Guard. He's also suggested using active military for domestic law enforcement. I am incensed about that. So my question is, tomorrow, are there any plans for contingency plans in case there's resistance? I've seen ICE troops in Chicago. I haven't seen ICE troops marching down the streets in Rockford, but that could happen. We will be peaceful, but I'm concerned that we will not be safe.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start with. We're going to start with a very light topic. I'll get to your question in 1 second. Okay, so to answer directly your question, yes, there are contingency plans. Yes, there will be a rally at Haight Park tomorrow, I believe at 11 a.m. I believe they're also looking at a rain site because I think there's like an 80 or 90% chance of rain tomorrow. I think that they are expecting a very large gathering. I believe the one that took place earlier this summer had about 3,000 roughly residents who attended. I would say they're expecting that, if not more. So we have safety precautions in place for the rally. We also are well aware that there's at least one, potentially two protests to the protest, and we are being prepared for that as well. As for ICE coming into our community, we have had ICE in our community. They have been here well over a dozen times. Thus far, when they have been here with very targeted enforcement activities. They have not done a sweep here. They have not went into businesses as we've seen in other places. They have not just went to Home Depots and things of that nature. They've went to specific addresses. Sometimes they have made us aware before they come. Sometimes they let us know that they're leaving and we weren't aware that they were here. I will tell you, we also, I have been meeting on a very regular basis with attorneys. I have also been meeting on a very regular basis with a group of Latino leaders in our community to help guide our city's response. We have also done a couple of public meetings now that truthfully have not been advertised and not been advertised on purpose. There's actually, I'm going to be at another one in another week or two, I will say. And the goal is to not have them widely publicized so that individuals feel comfortable coming forward. I feel very much like you do, and I will say, as I mentioned, I have this, really the best thing about being mayor is you get to meet all these wonderful people doing things, and you also get to go and talk to students, and you get to talk to their parents. And I would say two have stuck in my head in the last 2 weeks. One was a family who immigrated to the United States. They are American citizens. And their kids have come home from school asking why they feel their president doesn't like them. And these are second and third, fourth grade-ish by looks of their little kids having those thoughts. And then you think about the incredibly brave and unfortunate conversations that those parents now have to have with their children. It's just heartbreaking. Earlier this week, we had the opportunity to have Barber Elementary students come to City Hall, as they have every year of the last 6, I'll say, at least. Potentially every year I've been there. Usually the questions I get is, how much money do you make? Do you live in a big house? What kind of car do you drive? That was not the questions I got from the students at Barber on Wednesday of this week. Manuel specifically just said, where do you stand on ICE? And then my safe here is my family safe here. And how do I know I'm safe here? I mean, I think Manuel was in 6th or 7th grade. So that puts him at what? 12, 13 years old? And he's thinking if he's safe in the city that's the only city he knows. Incredibly unfortunate. To answer your question, yes, we are as prepared as we can be. We have a tremendous amount of folks on hand for Saturday. We have some folks that you will not see on hand that are just waiting in case something awful does happen. I will also say the event, if no one attended it, or if you didn't attend it, that took place, I believe, in June, was incredibly safe. There was a counter protest. Both acted, I think, as appropriate as we could have hoped for, probably better than we hoped. I don't see any major issues taking place. We'll have that one or two little agitator on all sides, but I think it'll be incredibly safe to attend. Okay. Yes. Yep.
any negotiations going on about it?
Absolutely.
What's the status of it?
Thank you. What's the status of Barbara Coleman? Has not changed dramatically since the last time I was here. So Barbara Coleman they're ready to move forward. So the developer, Jay Jeffers, out of Wisconsin, has terminated their partnership with their contractor, which was called ENC. ENC did what a lot of people who get terminated do, which is filed a suit against the person who terminated. That suit is going forward. They're not allowed to move forward on that project until that suit comes to a conclusion. They have a mediated session set for sometime in the next 30 days. My opinion is nothing will come of that mediation session and that it will go to arbitration. That arbitration, we hope, will take place in late winter or early spring of this coming year, and then we will see it move forward. They have an agreement in principle with a new contractor. They are ready to go. They are meeting still with potential leasees of their commercial and retail spaces. They are active in the community. I am meeting with them at a minimum on a monthly basis to get updates. I just got an update, which was not a big update, just saying that they're still meeting with folks. On Monday, I think we had a day off. I met with them on Monday. So it is moving forward, just waiting to go through the legal process.
Thank you.
Yep. I will touch on a couple of things and then take questions. So some things that have taken place since the last time I was here. One, we did the groundbreaking for Davis Park. Davis Park is really exciting. If you take a look at what's going to take place at Davis Park, downtown Davis Park is right behind the Embassy Suites Hotel on the banks of the Rock River. So we will have boat docks. We will have a new pass system. We will have about a 6,000 square foot universally accessible playground for anyone with any ability level can participate in. We will have a skate park on the south side, just south of the railroad tracks. It'll be the first skate park here in our city. We have some in surrounding communities. We will have new public art throughout Davis Park. We will have a stage that you could host a wedding on that would sit about 180 to 200 people in round tables at, but also can be transitioned to have 3,000 lawn seating for if the symphony or a concert wanted to be participating or using that venue. Really trying to make it welcoming, trying to make it activated is our goal. Another thing that took place was broke ground at the newly named Maybell Park and for the Bayer Field, and we broke ground there, which was, if you've ever met Maybell Blair, she was there in all her glory, which, by the way, a side funny story. I saw her like 2 years ago, and I see her multiple times each year, and I went in and gave her like the pat, hi, how are you? And she like, give me a kiss, and I like kissed her on her cheek. She's like, honey, I'm over 90 years old. I don't take kisses on the cheek anymore. Show me those lips. And I was like, oh man. So, but that was really exciting. We broke ground there. So you're gonna have a renovated field. You'll have the World Cup taking place there this summer. The next step, so that's phase one. The next step is you're gonna have a community center that will have more activities for youth, and you'll have a museum there to highlight, and we really will be the epicenter and home of women's baseball, once again, internationally. So it's very exciting. We have talked about Belvedere and Stellantis several times over the last couple of years. A big announcement took place. The on-again, off-again Belvedere Stellantis saga. Very exciting. They will, by the end of 2027, be rolling 2 different vehicles out of that facility. One is the Jeep Compass and one is the Grand Cherokee. Which is good because those are the higher end vehicles for Stellantis in our area. And that will be just under $1 billion worth of investment to get it up and running. And they estimate 3,300 jobs. I will tell you, Since I have been mayor since 2017, we've never had more than 1,100 people working there, and that was for a very short period of time. Most of the time I've been mayor, there has been 700 to 900 people working there, and then obviously recently, no one. Yes, it is in Belvedere. Important thing for us here in Rockford is between 65 and 70% of all employees out at still previously Chrysler were Rockford residents. And if you look at what it means to all of the local manufacturers who help feed into that, it's a game changer for our entire region. So, and that was a lot of work. We are fortunate that we are part of the Council of Governments, which were really a lead in it. Our land bank was a lead in it, who actually secured additional land out there in a very unique scenario. We have fortunate Representative Dave Vella, Representative Maurice West, and Senator Stottleman were incredibly active. The governor was active in this. Our congressional leaders from Bill Foster to Eric Sorensen, and then obviously our Senate leaders were all incredibly active working. It was really kind of neat to see the land bank and local government all the way through Senate all working for the same things across party aisles. It was really wonderful. So that is exciting. We also had IDOT come into our community recently and reaffirm that the Metro line is coming from Chicago to Rockford. They say that will take place in 2027. I've said this a couple times here, and they actually announced it. They have always historically in the last 2 years said early 2027. They did say it would be mid-late 2027, which is what I thought it would be. I think they'll need the vast majority of that summer construction season to finish it. But they have the contract, they're moving through it, and it's really pretty darn exciting. We also right downtown had the Chick Hotel. We broke ground on the Chick Hotel, which will be 18 apartments with 3 retail locations on the first floor. If you're not familiar where the Chick Hotel is, it's really right outside the front door of the BMO Center, and has been vacant and or highly underutilized for decades. So we are excited to see that. We as a city owned it, and we were sending staff through there every week and investing it, not a ton of investment if you've seen it, but making sure it doesn't get further run down for all of that time. So we are very fortunate it's off our rolls and being a productive property. Obviously you guys have lived through this, so I appreciate you doing it, but we thank you to Alderwoman Meeks and Alderwoman Grant had a massive capital improvement plan this year. Not gonna touch on every road, but you've seen North 2nd, West Riverside Boulevard, Mulford, Spring Creek, Phase 1 of 11th Street, and about 490 other projects taking place throughout the city. They will all be done for this year by October 31st is what my team is telling me and told me this morning. I am also always asked, coming over by you, about Elmwood and North Main, and I double checked this morning, and so IDOT will control that, and our team is having discussions and has put in a request because you all have wanted that left-hand turn to last longer so more people can go through. Some have requested even a second turn lane. They will not do the second turn lane. We know that. They have told us no to that. The traffic doesn't warrant it. But they will look at extending the turn lane so more people can get through there. We've been asked a lot about government shutdown. We are now 3 weeks into that. We have been fortunate thus far that the government shutdown hasn't dramatically, negatively impacted the city of Rockford. As it continues, it will. It will impact the Rockford Housing Authority. It will impact nearly all of our Health and Human Services Department if it continues. And don't hold me to this, but if it continues into that week 5, week 6, we're getting into a much more difficult situation. I am on the executive board for the Illinois Municipal League, so we have obviously been monitoring it and stating our concern about the future of all of our services. I've talked to all of our local congressional leaders and Senate leaders. I would say a thing that seems different than previous shutdowns is there's not a lot of discussions taking place. And talking on both sides, I've talked to congressmen who are Republican and those who are Democrat. Neither of them are saying that there's discussions taking place. That has me pretty concerned because I think it's going to take some time to get through those discussions whenever they start. I don't have a lot of information on that for you, so I apologize, but right now it is not, we're not seeing money being swept out of our accounts or money that we're applying for that we can't get yet. But soon in the next coming weeks, it will start to impact us. Two other things, and then take any questions. We had a really exciting announcement this week. So we have one of the best fire departments in the country, and certainly the best fire department in the state. We have what we call a board of fire and police commissioners. It's made up of citizens who do all of the hiring and promotions of our firefighters and police officers, except for a very few. Some of the highest leadership, the chiefs in each, are allowed to do that themselves. Our Board of Fire and Police Commissioners are Democrats and Republicans. Right now, it's an incredibly diverse group. We have Mr. John Rady, Mr. Rudy Valdez, and Ms. Ingrid Hargrove, who are our Board of Fire and Police Commissioners. They went through an incredibly rigorous process. They hired a group called iOS Solutions. Actually, it's IO Solutions. And IO Solutions helped us choose Chief Bergson, helped us choose Chief Panko. In that process, they opened it up. We had 14 applicants, 7 local, 7 internal, I should say, and 7 external. They did public meetings and allowed residents to participate, allowed us as elected officials to participate, did virtual meetings and in person, allowed for written comments and tried to be as transparent in that process as they could be. They got down to 5 finalists. There was one external, which was Scott Bavery out of District 2 Chief in Madison, Wisconsin. Wonderful person. And then 4 internal candidates, all really exceptional. All 5 were really exceptional. They then did 6 sessions that were very participatory by each of those individuals, those finalists, that gave them real life scenarios based on situations Rockford is facing or could very likely face and how they would respond about them. So they had to answer all these questions in front of folks, and then they had to take questions and give answers. We had 6 different chiefs from around the region that actually monitored their questions and answered and scored them on their question and answers. Because obviously, I'm not a firefighter, neither are the 3 police and fire commissioners, so you want experts in that field. We had 6 chiefs reviewing that while the fire and police commissioners were reviewing all of it as well. One leader came out and really stood above and beyond the others, and we are really fortunate that on Tuesday morning, the Fire and Police Commission chose unanimously to choose Chief Rebecca Tayo to be our new fire chief. I want to make sure that she has the opportunity to come in and meet with all of you. She's pretty darn exceptional. The best way I can describe Chief Tayo is she's kind of contagious. You want to talk to her, you want to be engaged with her. She's wicked smart, incredibly hardworking. She's served in the fire department for 16 years, had 5 different positions. She's just really that natural leader that you see. She's really pretty fantastic. Last item I had was, you guys may be aware of it, Mercy Health Campus. I am not gonna relive my true love for Javon Bay. Yeah, cue the song. No, that's vodka. I have to come here and talk about Mercy. I'm drinking vodka. No, that's one. So, I want to go back a little bit just because I do want to explain some of my public comments. So, we were made aware really through back channels that there may be discussions of Mercy giving the campus to someone for $1. I did not know who at the time that they would give it to. I even called the 2 local board members that we have and said, can you confirm or deny that any of this has happened? They would not. And so I came out with a statement that just simply said, whoever Mercy gives it to, I'm hoping that they did their due diligence, and that whoever it is has to have a plan, but also has to have the funding to follow through on that plan, because I do not want, second question we had today was about Barbara Coleman, a 26-acre campus that's sat vacant for 2.5 decades. I don't want another critical property on an area that needs more investment, get less investment and be blighted. So, we then found out that they provided it to Kingdom Authority Church and Pastor Melvin Brown and his wife Sheila Brown. We were invited to participate in a Saturday session. Me and the alder women and almost all the city council members, except I think for one, were all in Chicago the day that they had this public session, so we could not be there. So I organized a session because Representative West couldn't be there, Senator Solomon couldn't be there, Representative Vella couldn't be there, and I organized a virtual meeting with them and had that this week. Their thought and vision is not bad. They want to bring more healthcare there, they want to bring more housing, want to bring more businesses to the area. I think things that, I'm not going to speak for you, but I would say things that most folks are generally supportive of and feel like the West Side and that area needs. They do not have the finances right now. I will tell you, they have a couple people on their team that I think have some real capabilities. That I don't know if it's bad of me, but I was pleasantly surprised. And I think when I talked to other elected officials, we were like, okay, there's something there. But I will say, overarching, it's pretty concerning. I mean, I don't know if you saw the articles or the news last night, that I was not aware of it, but it made me aware that the Browns have operated a child care facility for a couple decades now, and last night DCFS decided to comment, and so did the news decide to find information out that they have, well over 40 violations at that facility. So I think there is hope for the facility, and I would say, and not speaking for city council, but I have yet to come across a council member who said they'll never help or support that campus being productive. I think everyone knows how important it is that we do something with it. We will not ever be the first dollar in to that campus, but we will absolutely, as we do with so many other developments, help fill the gap to make that property productive. I'm trying to go into all of these discussions as positive as I can be and as solution-oriented as we can be as a city, but also at the same time holding them accountable, because this winter will really tell us a lot. Like, will they plow the parking lots and plow the sidewalks and get the place, keep it going? Will they heat the building? How does this happen? We have to be monitoring that very closely, because I think a fear that we have as a council, and I would certainly say as an organization, we are not the best property owners, and we are typically the property owner of last resort. And I have looked at the one thing Javon Bay did say that was accurate, it's rare, but it was accurate, is that he offered the city of Rockford the property, and we looked at it and financially could not take it on. We worked with other health organizations, we worked with school districts, we worked with, without giving their names away, physical fitness places. Our thought was, could we make this into a wellness campus for families and bring multiple entities to bear to it? Because the main, what I call the main hospital, I think it's technically called the main clinic, is 603,000 square feet, and then you have about another 120,000 square feet in other buildings. So one that probably just needs to be torn down, but to operate all of them the way that you would want to operate them and keep them just basic going, we estimated $1.4 million annually. And we could not get these entities. We walked through it, we had engineers through it, we had construction experts through it. We were looking at it and close to some pretty significant partnerships. And just could not together come forward and say, we can make this work. Our thought was if we could make it work, we would need probably $5 to $10 million at the offset from Mercy to say, yes, we'll take this off your account, but you have to pay us to take it off your account. I would say that's something that really does concern me about the new owners is they didn't ask, or they didn't get, I shouldn't say they didn't ask, they did not get any money with it. And if you don't think this is a gift to Javon Bay, you're just not thinking correct. This is a major liability on their books taken off for $1. It's really concerning. But I can tell you, all the council members I've talked to are really monitoring it. They want us to make sure that it's productive, and we'll continue to go through it, trying to be as optimistic. I will say I was more optimistic after my meeting with them than I was walking into it. Not terribly, but more. And I think it's just one step, and we've committed to meet with them again in about 30 days to see where they're at in their process of securing some funding. And we'll take that next step when it comes. But happy to take any questions, and Alderwoman Meeks.
Can I do that? I'm sorry. What responsibility does the state take to finalize?
What responsibility does the state bear to finalizing that sale?
So, as always, she comes up with a great point that I forgot to mention. Alderwoman Meeks just brought up a really good point. What responsibility does the state have to finalize the sale? My belief right now, Alderwoman Meeks, technically they don't have a responsibility to finalize the sale. I think they have the HF. They have a response. The Health Facilities and Review Board, I believe is what it's called at the state level, has a responsibility to approve Mercy moving away from that campus. You can request a hearing. Hint, we may do that. I will also just be upfront with you. I think it's pretty administerial, and I think they're just gonna approve it. But since I love Javon Bay so much, and you can tell him, I'd like him to spend some money on having to do it. Just be a pain. So I would be shocked if we do not request a hearing, and at least give us some time to outline our concerns. And being mayor is great, but it's not always fun. That would be somewhat fun. So allow aldermen, allow the city administration, allow residents to state how they feel about someone leaving a gaping hole on the west side.
We'll need a large venue for that.
I hope so. I will tell you, said we need a large venue for that. I will say, we did not need a large venue for their first hearing that we requested. I will tell you, almost no one showed up. A lot of people had opinions about it, but no one showed up. We need people to show up, and if you can't show up, we need people to write in. So when you see it being public, and we will make sure people are aware that it is there, we do need to hear from folks. Yeah, honestly, if you're on either side of it, and there are people on both sides, we need to hear from you. So happy, we'll take any questions that you have. Yes, sir.
We're talking about John Bonet. Have you talked to the mayor of Freeport about their transaction? They're selling their hospital to Mercy.
Yes. The question was, have I talked to the mayor of Freeport about their transaction? I do talk to Jody Miller quite a bit. She is well aware of our experiences with them, and I think she's treading cautiously into that. I would say they're in a little bit different scenario because Mercy actually wants to buy and operate out of there. And I think they've had a number of struggles. I don't know them enough to talk publicly about all their struggles, but I think they're in a bit different situation, but she's aware of my thoughts on it. Yeah.
Auburn Street.
Oh, thank you.
Last time we were here, you were saying that we were gonna be starting in August.
Yep, thank you.
What year?
That was funny. I will tell you, I just missed it. It said explain our Auburn Street. So, Auburn Street, a couple of things have taken place. Council allocated 13 to $15 million, so that we're safe, to Auburn Street. That, again, just to remind you, would be multi-use path on one side, new sidewalks on one side, new lighting, new road, obviously, but really importantly, it would include water main replacement, 2 stretches of water main that are 100 years old, and it would include, I believe it's 418 or 428 lead service lines going to residences and businesses. It will be done. It will begin next year. I think and I told you, and I apologized last time that I said it would be done last year. It was supposed to. Ran into a couple of hiccups with it, from property acquisition to there's a bridge that actually the state owns, that we've just run into some turbulence on it. My gut tells me, as you will see, from the roundabout to Central for sure being done next year, and then from Central to Springfield may take another year. I'm not 100% on the Central to Springfield. I'm not sure it will be a second year, but it may end up having to be a second year. But yes, it will start early next year. And a couple of things on our side: property acquisition, slower than we anticipated, more expensive, because whenever you have the government who wants to buy a sliver of your land, it's very expensive, except when you protest your taxes. And then we have a tremendous amount of lead service lines that are taking place, and it's taking place all over the country. So the federal government recently came out with a ruling that every municipality has to have all of their lead service lines done in a 10-year period, when previously it was a 30-year period. It's great, it's good for people's health. It's not realistic by any stretch. I mean, we don't have the man and women power, we don't have the materials, we don't have the capabilities or the money to get that done. I mean, it's really genuinely unrealistic. We have 30,000 lead service lines, each one is $10,000. And other cities have them. And they may pay $11,000 to get theirs done when we can pay 10. So you're having tremendous amount of competition for the materials, for the labor, for everything, and just being able to get it done. We, one of our crews with the machines that we have can get 2 to 3 lead service lines done each day. You have to get a lot more than that done. So we are looking, and other women will get to hear a lot more about that in the coming weeks. I will tell you, our team's done a fantastic job of getting state and federal monies, but a big frustration we do have is the federal government provides a ton of money for lead service line replacement, but it seems to lack some pretty basic common sense. If you look at, like, state of Illinois has a lot of lead service lines. Florida does not have as many. Well, Florida's getting more money than the state of Illinois. You would think you would allocate the money based on need, but they're not doing that. And so we have some frustrations, and we're finding out ways that we could advocate for increased funding. But I will tell you, our city staff and council has done an amazing job of getting millions and millions of dollars here of forgivable loans. Yeah.
Secretary Kennedy Jr. had the opinions about the health benefits of
Does what? Oh, does Secretary Junior have any, This is a drinking game now. Does Secretary Junior have any concerns or comments on ingesting lead? I'm guessing it does away with COVID. I'm not sure. All right, sorry. Other questions that I can help answer? You guys have no question? Yeah.
Because of the drought, I've become worried about the groundwater. Are there any regulations or rules governing the use of water? When I was a child, the same thing happened. People with odd addresses, and I got to do it one day, and people with the even got to do it with another day.
Really good question. So the question was, understanding that we're in pretty good drought, back at different periods of time, we have said that, if you have an odd address, you can water your lawn this week. If you have an odd address, you can water your lawn that week, and ask people to refrain at times. We're not in that situation yet. It is being monitored. We're really fortunate that we have Jamie Rote, she is our water superintendent, and she's actually, talk about another amazing woman, qualified beyond belief. Jamie Rote is that, and she's on state board, she's monitoring it. We have not had, there was a point, and now recently we've had a little bit more precipitation, so we're in a decent spot right now. I will also tell you we have one of the largest aquifers right below us, so we're in a pretty good spot right now. Any questions? Yes?
My question is, what are you doing to take care of yourself? Because we need you.
Okay. You're super nice. Vodka, is that not obvious? No.
It's rhetorical in a way.
I've tried to do I'm not the best at it, I've tried to do a lot better this year. Spend more time with kids and more time with my wife, and we, by the way, just got 2 kittens, which I don't recommend to do. But genuinely just try to spend more time with Olympia, Malachi, and Sarah. That's
great.
What I try to do.
Can I have a follow-up?
You can.
Why not? It's my floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you give Governor Pritzker a hug, kiss, handshake, pat on the back, whatever, for me, and maybe some others, I don't know. Stand up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. There was another.
A question on curiosity with Siobhan Bay, is the deal with the Kingdom Hall, or whatever the organization is, include all 4 structures, the Ingersoll building, the hospital, the Rockford Clinic, as well as the Rockford Medical Center, the newest building that they built?
Thank you. So really good question. Question was, does the deal with Siobhan Bay and Kingdom Authority include all 4 structures? My understanding, and I can confirm this for you, I believe it involves 3 structures. I believe that if I'm facing it, the main clinic for sure. The Ingersoll building, which I believe is if you're facing it on the right-hand side, and then there's a 3-story building that had all of their marketing department and things of that nature in it. I believe those 3 parcels are included. I can confirm that for you.
So the main hospital structure is not?
No, the main hospital, yes. I call it a clinic. The main hospital, yes, absolutely. Its total's about 723,000 square feet, I believe. Other questions? Yes?
Where would the alternative place be in case of rain tomorrow? You said that we were talking about an alternative BMO of the veg. You know.
I'm not allowed. I shouldn't say I'm not allowed. I don't know if it's my place to say that yet. Because I just got a text from one of the organizers that they believe they have this location locked in for a rain, and I genuinely have nothing to do with the organizing. I don't want to throw out a curveball. It would be a church. It would not be BMO. It would be a church. BMO would cost some money, is my guess, and someone would offer their church.
Some of us are aware of the passing of the Safe School Act by the state legislature, tied in with the fact that the school board is now very actively interviewing, or will start interviewing, for a new school superintendent. And I'm
gonna try to repeat that. So, Safe School Act goes into enforce in 2026. In general, it says ICE can't go in or be on the property of a school. Believe it's way too late to have that. We're also in the midst of a search for a superintendent, and do I have any opportunity to meet with that potential candidate prior? Is that fair? Couple of things. Yes, I've been trying to be as engaged as I can be without being too heavy-handed on the superintendent search. So we are fortunate. You have the chair of the school board right now is Paul Carpenter. The vice president of the school board right now is Nicole Bennett. I have met with both of them together at least 3 times in the last 60 days, 90 days. They have organized, I want to say, and correct me if I am wrong, 20 to 25 public sessions. I shouldn't say public and closed sessions is my guess. I requested one for elected officials. We invited a whole host. We got some there. So we've been part of that. My understanding is that they're going to have a closed or confidential process once they get to the final 5 or 6 or 7, because if Tom applies and I'm superintendent in Marengo, and I don't get the job in Rockford, well, Marengo may be like, so you're looking, see ya. I have requested the opportunity to meet with whoever they are likely to potentially choose, that top 2 or 3, to meet with them. I would say you have a pretty receptive board right now regarding your question about the Safe Schools Act and ICE. I will also tell you, in conversations with Dr. Jarrett, he has been willing to put out statements at various times. So I'll meet with the Latino leaders I mentioned at the beginning, and they'll say, well, we'd really like the school to put out another statement. We'd really like the Park District. So then I reach out to those, and I will be upfront. Superintendent Jarrett has put those statements out. And another thing is, nowhere when your child goes to Rockford Public Schools do they ask you about immigration status. So they don't even know the immigration status of these young kids. So they can't tell someone when they are at the school. I think your point about the protocols and the practices are really critical, and I think that's a point. I truthfully don't know all the details of their practices and protocols. I know they have them, but I would absolutely ask and continue to urge you to have those direct conversations. Any other questions? Any questions for the Alderman? Yes.
So I just wanted to say that for the person that asked about Auburn, I'm going to be having a ward meeting on November 13th at 6 p.m. at Third Presbyterian Church on Custer, and Scott is going to be there talking about the Auburn construction project. So if you want to come and see him, yeah. Public Works Director is going to be there to give a presentation on it, the timelines, and all the things that are going to be happening. So if you want to come and get more information on it, he'll be there, and he can answer your more specific questions if you have them.
Thank you. Any other questions, concerns? There's a petition. Also, if you are so inclined, there's flyers for the hunger luncheon. Thanks again for allowing us to be here. Really appreciate it.